Hi everyone. I wanted to talk a little bit what I did yesterday about how living in the city is a bit like living in the Matrix. And now that I've been out of the city for 2 years, I can see that. So what I mean is that while you're there, it's really hard for you to see what it is like to live outside, because whether you leave the city and take trips and whatnot, that's still your home and you will always come back there. So really feeling how life is outside of the city is very difficult, or maybe even impossible before you actually do it. So continuing my thoughts a little bit on that, I think work life or work is actually a bit similar in a way. So my background is I used to work in IT for 12 years, and I quit last week, and probably my IT career has come to an end. So what happened is I started as an IT support, as many do, and then I switched the company, and well, basically I was a consultant and working more on the technical side, and I was basically in a technical role, and I did that for a couple of years, and back then I had like a strong drive for the job, and my identity was also that I am a IT professional. That was what I described myself as, and that was the plan for me back then. It was this is my career. I am now slowly moving ahead, and I will become a truly a skillful at what I do. And then something happened. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's age, maybe it's something else. The technology in itself just didn't really interest me that much anymore. And at that point, it is really hard to be in a technical role. So I kind of switched a little bit, and I stayed in the field of IT, but I moved on to a sales role, sort of a sales support role. And my thinking was that it helps me to understand the underlying technology and that side of things, but let somebody else work on that, and let me work on more of the customer and sales side. And it did work. It kind of did work, and that's one of the nice things about the industry, that you can kind of switch around. You can move from one job and one role to a completely different one. And that lasted for a while, and then I took a small break, and then I moved to more of a customer facing role, and basically I was working as a service manager, leading this small team, and that lasted for a while also. And but there I started feeling that maybe this is not for me anymore. Maybe I need to start thinking about my life ahead. Maybe I need to start thinking about something else. And I did, and I have been thinking about those things for a while now. But then a new opportunity presented itself out of the blue. I have never been the one that the headhunters or the recruiters call, but then this one company invited me to have a discussion, and it led to me all of a sudden realizing that I'm gonna have a new job. And that didn't last very long. I guess it was that it was kind of in the making for me that I will probably stop working in the IT industry as a whole at some point. And then maybe the expectations for the new job and the new role didn't match my expectations and what the employer expected. But anyway, that came to an abrupt end last week, and now I'm in a new situation completely. But what I really wanted to talk about is all these plans that we have and how we never take any action on them. Like, I did have these plans and I wanted to try different things, but when you are working in one industry, you are kind of living that life, and it is sort of a matrix that it's really hard to see what life is outside of that. And you think about that, well, someday I will probably try something different, or someday I will start my own business, or someday I will start doing charity work, and as you know, that someday might never come, because someday really is today, and that day for me is right now. And I'm still not sure what I'm gonna do. It might be that I try out different things and I end up working different things. It might be that I will not find the one thing that I'm gonna do, not the rest of my life, but the upcoming, let's say, 5-10 years. It might be that I work on something for a year or less. It might be that I work on odd gig jobs here and there, and but that's fine. One thing that really has happened is that now all of a sudden all these options are not these things that will happen someday. Now all of these different options are actually a reality that can happen to me, and it has become a reality that can happen to me very fast, even next week or tomorrow. So the someday for me can actually be very fast. And when I was working in the IT, this was not really possible. This was not really a reality for me that could happen. So there were just these plans that maybe happen. But now that career path has kind of ended for me, I have all the new doors are opening up, and some of them will become a reality for me. And I just wanted to talk about this because now I realize there are a lot of more options that you might think. So before, my thinking was that, okay, if this job is not interesting me anymore so much, I'm just gonna find a different role in the IT industry. So my thinking was, this is what I have been doing. This is the industry I know things of. I have worked so long that this is the only industry I can realistically apply for these cool jobs. And that's probably true in a sense. I know that I'm not gonna be earning money as much, whatever I choose to do. It's probably gonna be way, way, way less. But still, money is not everything. I realized that finally. And if you think it's easy for me to say that I have enough, I I do have quite a lot, but I don't have a lot of money. I have only saved enough maybe for a couple of months, and I don't have anything coming in from anywhere. I don't have any income basically. So I really need to do something and need to start doing it fast. But and I will. I will finish the renovation in my house finally. That will not pay me anything, but for me it's going to be valuable. I mean, it is work, but it is just not something that I will get paid for. And probably I will start doing some gig jobs here and there, try out different things, so I will start earning something. It is a lot better than nothing. But to me, the idea that now I really have the option to try out completely different things that I never even thought of, is really, really, really cool. And that is giving me a lot of excitement in my life that I think has been missing for a while now. And another thing I'm gonna do quite soon, I think, is that I own a piece of land in the central Finland. So it was owned by my grandma, who is still alive. I think she's 93 or 94 right now. Gonna visit her soon. And she left that piece of land for my father. And this happened already a long time ago. And after my father passed away, that piece of land was passed on to me. So it's not much. I'm sorry, I'm not so familiar with the acres, but I think it's probably a couple of acres. So it's not tiny, but it's not massive either. And anyway, it's so far from here where I live in the southern area of Finland. It's like a 4 or 5 hour drive. Obviously, it's not just a place where I can go and hang out, but basically there are some jobs that need to be done. There was the big trees in one area were cut, and new trees were planted, and now it needs some refining. I'm sorry, I don't know the correct term, but basically you need to cut the trees that are starting to grow around the trees that you actually want to grow. So they're kind of blocking the trees from growing. And our relatives live there in the area. It is completely in the middle of nowhere, this tiny town in the central Finland. But they have the tools so that I can borrow to do the job. And that's a real job. And I knew that these maintenance type of work needed to be done in the land, in the forest, and I kind of wanted to do them myself. I had this calling, even like the forest was talking to me, that come here, Tuomo, you need to come here and fix me. But I just had so much other stuff going on, and the trip there is so long. I just decided that I'm gonna let professional people take care of it. And that was the plan. It was already actually set in motion, and they would have probably done it, if not right now, in the next upcoming few weeks. And now when my job suddenly ended and I am unemployed, all of a sudden I instantly realized that that's something I need to do. I need to go there and do that job. So I called the forest company that is handling all these jobs in the forests in the area, that, hey, is this task already done or can I still cancel it? And he made a few calls and said that the lumber who was supposed to do that is still on a holiday, so it's not done. And he said, it has been cancelled, so feel free to do that yourself whenever you can. And I know I can't do it all. If I go there for 1 week, I might be able to do half of what is required. But this is something that also excites me, because I have been wanting to do this for a long time now, but it was never a reality for me. It was never truly an option for me. It was one of these ideas that we have that we're gonna do someday. And that someday for me is today, and that is one of the options that I'm happy that I can now pursue. And there will be many different ones, and like some of these ideas that I could do for work, not maybe full-time, but try out part-time, these are the ideas that I have never even thought about doing. Like for example, the elderly people need this day-to-day help, and there are these services that you can basically start doing it quite easily. Sorry. And that is something that I could try for sure. And I have plans that I could, do some window cleaning and very basic stuff like that, but it would be that I earn some money and try something new. And it's just, these possibilities were not real before, and they are real now, and I'm glad about that, even though I am unemployed now. And I am hopeful. I'm very hopeful. I am very excited of what will come, and it feels like I have almost like a new life starting. This life in the IT industry was a bit of like living in the Matrix. I'm sure it is for other industries too, but just to maybe wrap things up and sum it up, when I was kind of not forced, but I felt like I was kind of forced to quit, and it made the decision easy. So when that finally happens to you, then you realize that, hey, I can actually do different stuff. There's nothing really blocking me for doing that. But as long as you're there, it doesn't feel real. And unless you really get this calling and passion, and you know that, hey, this is something I want to do, then you might end up just continuing the work you do. And unfortunately, I know a lot of people, my friends, my colleagues, my schoolmates that are working in the industry. They're not happy, but they are in the same position that I was just a week ago, that they are not sure about what they could do next. But I guess you don't know what the possibilities are before you're actually faced with the tough situation of making these choices. And I am there now, and I'm happy about it. I'm hopeful, and I think things will turn out okay. That's all I have. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.